Well, today's Sunday, and boy, I was busy. Been busy all week trying to, do lawnmowers and work on lawnmowers and stuff, and so made all these plans for today. Of course, that didn't work out so well. So this morning I got up and edited 2 videos because I get behind, and I try to catch up on Sundays so I can, for the other channel, I should say. So I do a lot of recording of videos throughout the week, and then on Sunday I try to catch up on them. But Carolyn wanted to go shopping today, so we went shopping also, grocery shopping. And that takes about 2 hours to get down there and back. We stop at Walmart. And then came back home, and I wanted to cut grass. I've been trying to do it once a week, but I'm up to a week and a half or so today. It was getting pretty tall. So I wanted to get it cut, so I jumped on there, and it takes about an hour to cut the grass with the riding mower. Of course, I do some trimming. That probably takes another hour. So we got home at 11, cut the grass. So by 1, I was done. Well, I went inside, and I checked the messages for Facebook, and somebody messaged me and said, when's that mower going to be ready? Well, I told him May 12th. I think today's the 4th. So I told him the 12th because the fuel filter was special order. It's a 1996 Grasshopper lawnmower, and with a Kubota engine on it. So I mean, it's old, and the parts aren't really readily available. People don't seem to understand that when they get old, parts are hard to get. Sometimes, I should say, there are some parts on there that you can't get. So the fuel filter, and I was trying to use genuine parts because I've never worked on one before. And they got a plastic fuel filter on it now, like a regular lawnmower fuel filter. But when I looked it up, this one is a metal fuel filter. And what I read said don't use the plastic ones. It didn't say why. I can't imagine why you're not supposed to use it, but I decided not to. So it certainly needs one because it looks terrible. So that's all we're waiting for. So, well, fortunately, that filter is going to be here Tuesday, or May 12th. I should have said. Fortunately, it'll be here Tuesday. So he messages me today. Now this is Sunday. Wants to know when it's going to be done. I planned on working on it in the morning. All I needed was an oil change and air filter, fuel filter. That's it. So I was going to do it in the morning. And then Tuesday, when that filter got here, I was just going to pop it on and call him up. So I figured, well, I better go ahead and do it today. That way, if he starts griping, I can just put a plastic filter on there. And when the metal one comes in, just call him up and say, hey, the metal one's here. If you want it, you can come get it. And I'm going to charge him for it because that's what he said he wanted. So, aired up tires, pressure washed it, greased everything. Folks just don't understand. I got a message today says, I better get used to just working on antique mowers, because that's all mechanics work on nowadays. And it's just not true. There's a lot of mechanics who won't work on anything over 10 years old. A lot. So whoever said that, they have no idea what they're talking about. They just yap. I was riding this around trying to see what it needed, and I noticed that these wheels are froze. They didn't turn. They'll spin, but it wouldn't turn left or right. They were locked up. So I had to break all that loose, lift it up and break it loose. I didn't quote that. There's just a lot of hidden problems with these mowers, when they're this old. That was just a maintenance item. The grease zerk is all plugged up, can't get anything to go through it. So I had to give him his grease zerks. Of course, I guess I'll charge him for that. But I already gave him an estimate. Everybody wants an estimate. Well, I'm so over budget right now. Without that, I had shipping costs, tons of shipping costs, because everything was coming from China. So I had to pay all that shipping cost. And and again, it's old and there's not a lot of diagrams out there. So I ordered a belt, but nothing told me that there was 2 belts, the same belt that goes in there, 2. So I had to order, so after I had gave the estimate, I got in there to change the belt and I realized, oh, there's 2 belts. So I had to go order another one. So that's, you know, another 20 bucks. So, and the thing is I don't know what to say about this. I looked it up. This mower is worth anywhere between $2,000 and $6,000. And this one's in pretty good shape. So I would say it's, let's just call it $3,500. So when he asked me to come fix it because it needed a spindle, a bearing, like a drive shaft bearing, needed a drive shaft for the mower, and he says if it's not worth fixing, sell it. It's yours. You can have it. So he doesn't want to spend a lot of money on it. And you know, I mean, what's a lot of money? If the thing's worth $250,000 or $3,000, $3,500, is $250, $260, $70 too much? And I actually think he's going to say, yeah, that was way too much. So I don't know what they mean by it, if it's worth it. Well, yeah, it's worth it. Thing's worth $3,500. What you're saying is do you have enough money for it? And I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if you got money or not. So these are just problematic. Getting a new mower and you know, having to fix something on that. Parts are still available, but I don't know. People don't seem to understand. You know, if somebody took a 1976 Trans Am into the car dealership and said, "Hey, fix it," well, they don't even make Pontiacs anymore. Everybody would say, "Oh, well, yeah, that guy's an idiot. You can't take a 1976 Pontiac in and get it fixed. That's not going to work." But when they bring a lawnmower in, they don't realize how old they are. I got another one that's 30 years old. This one's 29 years old. That other one's 30 years old. I mean, I realize I have a mower that's, well, 25 years old. And, but the thing I was just talking to Carolyn about was, let's save that box. If you're going to have a mower that old, I really think you should know how to work on it. Because you're asking a guy to work on something, he doesn't know what kind of budget you have. You know, this guy over here with the grasshopper apparently has a budget. This guy said didn't even care what it was going to cost. And this one's 30 years old. It's 1995. And I'll show you. So 1995, December 13th, 1995. So, and the thing is the charging system was down on this one. You know, there's something wrong with it. So there's 3 things that can be wrong with a charging system. Well, 4, but 3 that that needs to be, that a mechanic would have to fix. Either the stator, the flywheel, the magnets on the flywheel broke, or the voltage regulator, or all 3. So I looked up the stator just to see, and they don't make them anymore. So if it had been a stator on this thing, he wouldn't be able to get it fixed. But but it did have the voltage regulator. So how do you tell folks that you can't work on 30-year-old mowers? How do you tell folks you really should try to think about getting a new one? They don't want to get a new one. They like their old one. But I don't know. I guess I just when I did the video yesterday, day before yesterday, whenever it was, I was kind of aggravated. The other thing is I got a bunch of comments from a guy. I mean, he knows everything. You need to make yourself a checklist. There's a 30-point checklist you need to make to change the mower deck belt, the deck belt. Okay, I can do a 30-point checklist. That's fine. I don't do anything unless I look at everything. I take the deck out. I was showing you how to make a video, or take the belt off in 6 minutes. But he says, if I get in there, I do my 30-point check. Well, I know that's just a bunch of bull. There is no way you do a 30-point check on your lawnmower when the belt breaks. I just know you don't. So he wants me to do a 30-point check. Well, who's going to pay for that? The customer isn't. When the customer says, "Hey, can you change the belt?" Sure. And we look at all the pulleys and everything, see if they're okay. Nah, man, I guess that's a lot. How much is that going to cost? I mean, that's the first words out of people's mouth. How much is that going to cost? They don't want a perfectly running mower. They just want something so they can cut the grass. They're just hoping to get through one more season with their mower. It is cheaper for folks to go out and buy a used mower off Facebook Marketplace for $200 or $300 than it is to spend $200 or $300 on their mower. If they get it off Facebook Marketplace, it's a good chance it runs, and they'll be able to cut the grass for a year. So, you know, why hang on to this one? They don't need to hang on to this one. So you do have two types of people. One that wants to hang on to it forever, and those who just, you know, they're just really concerned about price. So this guy with the grasshopper, I just don't even understand what he's telling me. I want it, I like it, I want to keep it, but if it's not worth it, don't fix it. And when you tell him, okay, it's, you know, it's going to be 250, 260 bucks, I mean, is he going to just freak out? And the thing is, I'm not charging a lot of money for that labor on that. There just wasn't a lot of labor. All that is in parts. So the prices of parts go up the older they get. I know everybody thinks the prices go down, but they're not making them anymore. So there's limited inventory. They've got them somewhere in a warehouse back in the back 40. You know, they're just, the prices are outrageous when you get into these older models sometimes. Unless they're still using the parts on modern day lawnmowers, then they go up in price considerably, even the aftermarket. Like a stator for the Beast, it was 30 bucks. But they still use that stator in, you know, in mowers that they make today. So it's been a busy day, but even Carolyn was a little bit aggravated that, you know, we told him one date, and here it is, you know, not even close. It's on a Sunday, and he wants his mower back so he can mow. So I don't know what to tell the guy. Anyway, we got it running, so I'll just let him know, hey, the oil's changed, and the everything's running. All we're waiting for is the fuel filter. Give him the price so he can freak out and go from there. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video on my other channel. It's a brand new video. I really appreciate it if you go check it out. So hope I can inspire you to think through your dreams so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.